Rich man fires pregnant nanny. 3 years later sees her living in the dump, and what he does. Richard Wilson slowed down his imported car when he saw the scene that made him choke up. A young woman was sitting on the bare ground, feeding a bottle to a small child, while other children played among garbage bags and rubble. His heart raced when he recognized her face. It was Amanda Johnson, the nanny he had fired 3 years ago when he discovered she was pregnant. At the time, he claimed company budget cuts, but the truth was he didn't want to cover maternity leave. Now she was there, in the dump on the outskirts of Oakland, feeding a girl who couldn't be more than 2 years old. Richard parked the navy blue Lexus and watched for a few minutes through the tinted window. Amanda wore a faded blue blouse and simple shorts, but still maintained that delicate posture he remembered from when she cared for his children. The girl in her arms had curly hair and light brown skin and was feeding hungrily while her mother hummed softly. When he got out of the car, several people stopped to look. A man in an expensive suit there in the middle of the dump drew attention. Amanda looked up and saw him walking toward her. Her face immediately closed off and she hugged her daughter tighter, as if wanting to protect her from some danger. "Amanda," he called, his voice hesitant. She quickly stood up, picked up the girl and turned her back on him, walking toward a makeshift shack made of plywood and black tarp. Richard followed her, but she entered the small structure and closed the old wooden door behind her. "Amanda, please, I just want to talk," he said, knocking lightly on the door. There was no answer. He stood there for a few minutes, not knowing what to do. Other people from the area began to approach, curious. An elderly lady in a floral dress came up to him. "Do you know Amanda?" the woman asked. "Yes, she worked for my family a few years ago." "Poor thing. She arrived here 7 months pregnant with nowhere to live. We made this little shack for her. The girl was born right here, with the community midwife." Richard felt a tightness in his chest. "And the child's father?" "Never showed up. She doesn't talk about it, just says she was abandoned when she needed help the most." At that moment, the shack door opened and the little girl came running out. She had big brown eyes and upon seeing Richard showed no fear. On the contrary, she walked up to him and took his hand. "Hi, handsome mister," said the child with a sweet voice. Richard knelt down to her level. "Hi, princess. What's your name?" "Lily. And you?" "Richard." Amanda rushed out of the shack and roughly picked up her daughter. "Lily, I told you not to talk to strangers," she said, looking angrily at Richard. "And you, please leave. There's nothing for you to do here." "Amanda, I just want to help." "Help?" she laughed bitterly. "Where was this desire to help 3 years ago when you left me on the street pregnant?" Richard lowered his head. "I know I made a mistake." "Mistake?" Amanda raised her voice. "You took my job, my home, my dignity. I had to sell everything I had to survive until Lily was born. I slept on the street for weeks before I could come here." The girl looked frightened between her mother and Richard, not understanding the tension in the air. "Mommy, why are you mad at Uncle Richard?" asked Lily. Amanda took a deep breath and tried to calm down. "I'm not mad, honey. It's just that Uncle needs to leave now." Richard took his wallet out of his pocket and held out some bills to Amanda. "Please take this for Lily." "Keep your money, I don't need your charity," she said, pushing his hand away. "It's not charity, Amanda. It's an attempt to fix what I did wrong. 3 years too late." Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, please take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps us who are just starting out. Now continuing. Amanda entered the shack again with Lily, and this time Richard didn't insist. He returned to the car with a heavy heart, but couldn't start the engine. He sat there watching the activity at the landfill. Children ran among adults, sorting recyclable materials. Women washed clothes in plastic buckets. Men carried heavy sacks. And in the midst of all that hardship was Amanda, the woman who had cared for his children with such affection and dedication. Richard remembered how caring she was with Ethan and Olivia, his 10-year-old twins at the time. Amanda was only 22 then, but was responsible and careful. She woke up early to prepare the children's breakfast, took them to school, helped with homework, played in the yard. His children adored her. Whenever he came home from work, he'd find the three of them laughing together in the living room, watching cartoons or putting together puzzles. Amanda had infinite patience and a special way of handling childhood tantrums and fears, until the day she came to his office, nervous and ashamed, to say she was pregnant. Richard remembered the conversation perfectly. Amanda stood before his desk, fidgeting with her hands, trying to find words. "Mr. Richard, I need to tell you something important." "Go ahead, Amanda." I'm expecting a baby." Richard stopped signing the documents he was reviewing. "What do you mean?" "I'm 3 months pregnant, sir." "And the father?" Amanda lowered her eyes. "He won't take responsibility for the child." Richard sighed. At the time, his company was going through financial difficulties. He had laid off several employees in recent months. The idea of having to give Amanda maternity leave while continuing to pay her salary without her working bothered him. "Amanda, unfortunately, I'll have to let you go." "What do you mean, sir? Did I do something wrong?" "No, it's not that. Well, with the company in crisis, I need to cut costs, and with you pregnant. But Mr. Richard, I need this job. I have no family here in New York. I came from the countryside specifically to work. How will I support my child?" "I'm sorry, Amanda, but the decision is made." Richard remembered the desperation in her eyes, how she had tried to argue, saying she would work until the last day, that she wouldn't be a burden, but he had already decided. At the time, it seemed the most practical and economical decision. Now, 3 years later, seeing her at that landfill with her young daughter, Richard realized the magnitude of what he had done. It wasn't just a dismissal, it was condemning a single mother to poverty. He started the car and left, but couldn't focus on work for the rest of the day. The image of Lily asking why her mother was angry with him wouldn't leave his head. That evening at home, Richard tried to have dinner with his wife Jennifer and the twins, now 13. But he was distracted, pushing food around his plate without eating properly. "Dad, are you okay?" asked Olivia. "I'm fine, sweetie." "You're very quiet today," said Ethan. Jennifer watched him curiously. "Did something happen at work?" Richard hesitated before answering. "Do you remember Amanda?" The twins immediately perked up. "Mandy, of course I remember," said Olivia. "She was the coolest nanny ever." "Why are you asking about her, Dad?" Ethan wanted to know. "Oh, just wondering." Jennifer raised her eyebrows. "Richard, you're hiding something." He sighed. "I saw Amanda today. She's not in a very good situation." "What do you mean?" asked Jennifer. Richard told her about the dump, about Lily, about the condition Amanda was living in. He only omitted the part where she had blamed him for the situation. "My God," said Jennifer. "The poor thing. And you're not going to do anything to help." She didn't want to accept help. "Out of pride, certainly, but you were her family for 2 years. You can't just ignore it." Olivia and Ethan agreed with their mother. "Dad, Mandy was always so good to us," said Olivia. "I remember when I broke my arm, she stayed with me at the hospital all night because you were traveling. And when I was afraid of the dark, she slept in my room," added Ethan. "She deserves our help." Richard felt even worse. His own children had more compassion than he had shown 3 years ago. The next morning, Richard returned to the dump. He brought food baskets, children's clothes he had bought on the way, and vitamins for kids. But when he reached the spot where Amanda's shack had been, he found only an empty space. "She moved out last night," explained the same elderly lady who had spoken to him the day before. "She took her things and left with the girl." "Where to?" "She didn't say, only said she couldn't stay here." Richard felt a pang of guilt. His presence had made Amanda so uncomfortable that she preferred to leave her home. "Do you know where she might have gone?" The woman shook her head. "Amanda is very private. She doesn't talk about her life with anyone. But I heard she sometimes goes downtown to look for work." Richard thanked her and decided to search for Amanda on the streets of downtown Oakland. He spent the whole day driving through the poorest neighborhoods, stopping at bus stops, markets, fairs. Nothing. In the following days, he continued the search. He asked at health clinics, schools, anywhere a mother with a small child might show up. But it was as if Amanda had simply disappeared. A week later, Richard was returning from work when he stopped at a traffic light downtown. It was late afternoon and traffic was heavy. While waiting for the light to change, he saw a woman approaching cars with a child in her arms, selling water and candy. It was Amanda. Richard quickly rolled down the window. "Amanda!" She saw him and tried to move away, but the light changed and she got trapped between the cars. Lily was sleeping in her arms, her little face red from the heat. "Please, Amanda, I just want to talk." "We have nothing to talk about," she said, but couldn't move because of the traffic. "How are you? Where are you living?" "That's none of your business." Richard looked closer and noticed Amanda was thinner, with deep, dark circles under her eyes. Lily seemed feverish. "Is Lily sick?" Amanda looked at her daughter with concern. "It's just a cold. She has a fever. She needs to see a doctor." "I know how to take care of my daughter." The light turned green and cars started moving. Richard quickly got out of his car, leaving it stopped in the middle of the street and ignoring the angry honks from other drivers. "Amanda, let me take you to a hospital." "There's no need." "For God's sake, put your pride aside. Lily is sick." Amanda looked at her daughter again. Lily was indeed breathing heavily and very hot. I don't have money for a private doctor." "I'll pay. Come on, get in the car." Amanda hesitated for a moment, looking between her daughter and Richard. Finally, maternal concern won out, and she nodded yes. Richard helped her and Lily into the back seat and drove off toward the nearest hospital. During the ride, Lily began to cry softly, clearly bothered by the fever. "Mommy, I hurt," murmured the girl. Amanda kissed her daughter's forehead and tried to comfort her, but Richard could see through the rearview mirror that she was trying not to cry. At the hospital, Richard paid for the private consultation, and they were seen quickly. The doctor examined Lily and diagnosed a respiratory infection that needed to be treated with antibiotics. "Is it serious?" asked Amanda nervously. "It's not serious, but it needs to be treated properly. I'll prescribe an antibiotic and a cough syrup. In a week, she'll be fine." The doctor handed over the prescription and explained the dosages. Richard went with Amanda to the hospital pharmacy and paid for the medicines. "Thank you," said Amanda, as they left the hospital, her voice low. "No need to thank me." Lily was calmer after taking the first medicine, nestled in her mother's lap. "Where are you living now?" asked Richard. Amanda hesitated. "In a boarding house downtown." "What do you mean?" "A small room, shared with other people." Richard felt his stomach turn. "Amanda, that's no place for a child. It's what I can afford with what I earn selling things at the intersection. Let me help you find a better place. I already told you I don't want your help. Then what do you want? To stay in this situation forever?" Amanda stopped walking and stared at him. "You want to know what I want? I want dignity. I want a real job, not charity. I want to be able to support my daughter with my own work." "Then let me give you a job." "Work for you again?" She laughed bitterly. "To be fired again when there's a problem?" "It was different back then." "It was different. How so?" Richard realized he had stepped into dangerous territory. The company was going through difficulties and decided to lay off precisely the pregnant employee. "Amanda, economically speaking, it made sense, didn't it? Firing the one who would incur more expenses." Richard didn't know what to say. That was exactly what he had thought at the time. "Look, I understand your anger." "You understand?" Amanda raised her voice, making Lily stir in her lap. "Do you understand what it's like to sleep on the street 8 months pregnant? Do you understand what it's like to go hungry so there's food left for your child? Do you understand what it's like to see your daughter sick and not even have money for acetaminophen?" Richard lowered his head. "No, I don't understand." "Then don't say you do." They remained silent for a few minutes. Lily had fallen asleep again in her mother's arms. "Amanda, at least let me take you to where you're living." She sighed, tired. "All right." During the drive to the boarding house, Richard was shocked by the neighborhood where Amanda was living. It was a dangerous area downtown, with many drug users on the streets and questionable establishments. The boarding house was an old, poorly maintained building. Amanda got out of the car with Lily. "Thanks for the ride," she said. "Amanda, wait." "What?" "You have my number. If Lily gets worse or if you need anything, I won't need it." Richard watched her enter the building and stood there, observing the broken windows and peeling walls. How had someone like Amanda, so educated and careful, reached that point? He picked up his phone and called Jennifer. "Hi, honey. Are you going to be late today?" "Jennifer, I found Amanda today." "That's great. How was she?" Richard told her about the encounter, the hospital, the boarding house where she was living. "My God, Richard, you have to get her out of there. She doesn't want to accept help. Out of pride. But that doesn't mean you should give up." "What do you think I should do?" "Talk. For real. Find out why she's so angry with you. There must be something more to this story." Richard knew Jennifer was right. Amanda's anger seemed disproportionate for just a layoff. There was something more behind it. The next morning, Richard returned to the boarding house. He was determined to have a serious talk with Amanda and uncover the whole truth. But when he got there, the doorman told him she had left early with the little girl. "They always leave early. Only come back at night." Richard decided to wait. He parked his car in front of the boarding house and stayed there waiting. He spent the whole day there, only leaving to grab a quick lunch. In the late afternoon, he saw Amanda approaching on foot, carrying Lily, who appeared to be sleeping. She was visibly tired, dragging her feet. Richard got out of the car and went to meet her. "What are you doing here?" asked Amanda, not hiding her irritation. "Waiting for you. I need to talk to you." "We have nothing to talk about." "Yes, we do. Has Lily gotten better?" Amanda looked at her daughter in her arms. "Yes, she's better. Thanks for the medicine. Can I help you take her upstairs?" "No need." "Amanda, please. I just want to understand why you hate me so much." "I don't hate you." "Then why won't you accept my help?" Amanda sighed, shifting Lily in her arms. "Because it's not fair." "What do you mean? You fired me when I needed support the most. Now you want to feel better by helping? That doesn't change what happened." "I know it doesn't change it, but it could change the future." "Richard, you fired a pregnant woman. Do you know that's a crime?" Richard swallowed hard. "At the time, I thought it was the right decision for the company." "The right decision?" Amanda shook her head. "You destroyed my life because of your company. It wasn't intentional." "Wasn't it? Did you stop to think about what would happen to me? If I had family, if I had somewhere to go?" Richard realized he had never really thought about that. At the time, he only saw the financial side of the situation. "You're right. I was selfish. Admitting it changes nothing." "Then let me try to change things now." Amanda stared at him for a long moment. "Why? Why do you suddenly care?" Because I saw you and Lily at that dump and realized what I had done. I realized it wasn't just a dismissal, it was condemning you to poverty." "And why does that bother you now?" Richard thought about the question. Why did it really bother him? Because you took such good care of my children, and I repaid you by abandoning you when you needed help the most." Amanda remained silent for a few minutes, gently rocking Lily in her arms. "You want to know the truth, Richard," she finally said. "The truth is, I expected nothing from you. I knew you fired me for convenience. What angers me is something else." "What?" "It's that you didn't even consider helping me. You didn't even ask if I was okay, if I had somewhere to go. You fired me and forgot about me the same day." Richard felt the weight of her words. It was true. After Amanda left his house that day, he had never thought about her again until he found her at the dump. "You're right," he said quietly. "I know I am." "And now? What can I do to fix this?" Amanda looked at Lily, who was waking up in her arms. "I don't know if it can be fixed, Richard." Lily opened her eyes and saw Richard. "Hi, Uncle Richard." "Hi, Princess. Are you feeling better?" "Yes, I am. Mommy gave me the yummy medicine you bought." Richard smiled. "That's good." "Uncle Richard, are you going to play with me?" Amanda tensed up. "Lily, Uncle Richard needs to leave." Why, Mommy? Because he has his own family to take care of. Lily pouted. But I like Uncle Richard. Richard felt his heart tighten. I like you too, Lily. Then why don't you come play with me at our house? Lily, that's enough, Amanda said firmly. It's just that our house is very small, sweetie, Richard explained. But I'd love to play with you. Can you come tomorrow? Richard looked at Amanda, who shook her head negatively. Maybe another day, Princess. Promise? Richard hesitated. I promise I'll try. Amanda quickly said goodbye and entered the boarding house with Lily. Richard stood there thinking about the conversation. He now understood Amanda's anger better. It wasn't just about the dismissal, but about the coldness with which he had treated the whole situation. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, please take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps us who are just starting out. Now continuing. That night, Richard spoke with Jennifer again about the situation. She's right to be upset, Jennifer said. Imagine if it were me, if I were pregnant and my boss fired me without caring about the consequences. I know. But now what? How do I fix this? First, you need to genuinely apologize, not by trying to justify what you did, but by completely acknowledging the mistake. And then you offer a real opportunity, not charity, but a chance for her to rebuild her life. What kind of opportunity? Employment, housing, support for her to get back on her feet, but without making it seem like you're only doing this to ease your conscience. Richard agreed with his wife. The next day he devised a plan. He spoke with some contacts and found out that a family friend needed a nanny for her young children. It was a good family, one that would treat Amanda with respect. Additionally, Richard researched some housing options. He found a small but decent apartment in a safe neighborhood, with a good public school nearby. With the plan in mind, he returned to the boarding house in the late afternoon. This time, Amanda was returning from work with Lily, who was clearly better from the respiratory infection. Richard, what are you doing here again? I came to make you a serious proposal. What kind of proposal? A friend of mine needs a nanny for her young children. 2 boys, 3 and 5 years old. It's a good family. They'll treat you with respect and pay a fair wage. Amanda eyed him suspiciously. And why would she hire me? She doesn't know me. Because I told her about you, about how careful and caring you were with my children. And what's the plan behind this? There is no plan. It's a real job opportunity. Uncle Richard, Lily interrupted, running to hug his leg. Did you come to play with me? Hi, Princess. I'm talking with your mum. Lily looked between the two. Are you guys fighting? No, sweetie, said Amanda. Just talking. Mum, can I play downstairs while you talk? No, Lily. This isn't a safe place to play. Richard noticed how Amanda was constantly worried about her daughter's safety in that environment. Amanda, besides the job, I found a small apartment in a good neighborhood. 2 rooms with a kitchen and bathroom, near a quality public school. And you'll pay for it? I'll help with the rent for the first few months until you're financially stable. Why? Why do you want to do this? Richard took a deep breath. Because I need to make up for what I did. Not to feel better, but because it's the right thing to do. Amanda was silent for a few minutes, watching Lily, who was sitting at the entrance of the boarding house, humming softly. And if I accept and then you change your mind? If I become dependent on your help and you decide to stop? I won't stop. How can you guarantee that? Because I've learned that actions have consequences, and I have to take responsibility for the consequences of my actions. Amanda studied him carefully. Have you really changed your mind about me? I've changed my mind about a lot of things, mainly about responsibility. And your family? What do they think about this? They support it. My children always liked you a lot. When they found out about the situation, they were upset with me. Do Ethan and Olivia know you found me? They know, and they've asked several times when they'll get to see you and Lily. Amanda smiled slightly for the first time. How are they? Big. They're already 13. Olivia is in artistic gymnastics, and Ethan is in soccer. They were always special children. And they always spoke highly of you, even after you left. Lily approached them again. "Mommy, I'm hungry." Amanda looked at her daughter with concern. "We're going up to have dinner soon, honey." "What are you having for dinner?" asked Richard. "Bread with margarine and some milk." Richard felt his stomach turn. "Amanda, let me take you out to dinner somewhere." "You don't have to." "Lily, do you want to eat a hamburger?" Richard asked the girl directly. Lily's eyes lit up. "Yes, I do." "Richard, don't do that," Amanda said quietly. "Why?" "Because you're using my daughter to pressure me." Richard realized she was right. "I'm sorry, it wasn't intentional." "Yes, it was. You know a mother can't deny good food to her child." Richard felt ashamed. "You're right. I'm really sorry." "Mommy, why can't we eat hamburger?" asked Lily, confused. Amanda knelt down to her daughter's height. "Because we can't accept expensive gifts, remember? Mommy already explained that." "But I'm hungry for hamburger." "I know, honey, but not today." Richard saw the struggle on Amanda's face. She wanted to give the best to her daughter, but her pride wouldn't allow her to accept help. "Amanda, what if it's not a gift? What if it's just dinner between friends?" "We're not friends, Richard." "Then what are we?" Amanda thought about the answer. "I don't know, but we're not friends." "Can I try to be?" "Why?" "Because you were important to my family, and because I was unfair to you." Lily tugged on her mother's blouse. "Mommy, can I play with Uncle Richard someday?" Amanda looked at her daughter and then at Richard. "Lily, Uncle Richard has his own children to take care of. But I want to be his friend too." Richard knelt down to Lily's height. "I want to be your friend too, Princess." "Then why won't Mommy let me?" Richard looked at Amanda. "Because sometimes adults complicate things that should be simple." "Is that true, Mommy?" Amanda sighed. "It's true, honey." "So can you stop complicating things?" Richard laughed. "You're very smart, Lily." "I know. Mommy always says that." Amanda couldn't help but smile. "It's true. She really is very smart." "So?" asked Lily. "Are you going to stop complicating things?" Richard looked at Amanda. "I'm willing." Amanda hesitated. "I need to think." "Mommy, you always think too much," said Lily. "Sometimes it's better to just do it." "Where did you learn all this wisdom?" asked Richard, laughing. "From Aunt Rose at the boarding house. She always says that." Amanda shook her head, amused by her daughter. "Aunt Rose talks too much." "But is she right, Mommy?" Amanda looked at Richard, who was waiting for an answer expectantly. "Maybe she is," she finally said. "So can we eat hamburger?" asked Lily hopefully. Amanda laughed. "All right, but just for today." Lily celebrated by jumping. "Yay! Thank you, Mommy." Richard felt a mix of relief and happiness. "Thank you, Amanda." "Don't thank me yet. It's just dinner." "I know, but it's a start." They went to a simple burger joint nearby. Lily was delighted with the hamburger and fries, chatting animatedly with Richard about her favorite games and asking about Ethan and Olivia. Amanda ate in silence, watching the interaction between Richard and her daughter. She could see that he genuinely liked Lily, and that he wasn't just pretending to be interested to impress her. "Uncle Richard, do you have children?" asked Lily. "Yes, I do." "A boy and a girl, twins?" "What are twins?" "They're siblings who were born on the same day from the same mother's belly." Lily was fascinated. "Wow, and are they the same?" "No, they're different, but they were born together." "I wish I had a brother," said Lily, looking at Amanda. "Maybe one day," Amanda said diplomatically. "My kids would really like to meet you, Lily," said Richard. "Really? What are they like?" Richard told her about Ethan and Olivia, their personalities, the sports they played. Lily listened carefully, asking questions about every detail. "Do they know I exist?" asked Lily. Richard looked at Amanda, who nodded positively. "Yes, they do, and they were very happy when I told them I met you." "Do they want to meet me too?" "Very much." "Mom, can I meet Uncle Richard's kids?" Amanda hesitated. "We'll see, honey." After dinner, Richard drove them back to the boarding house. Lily was visibly more excited and satisfied. "Thank you for dinner," said Amanda when they arrived. "Thank you for accepting." "Lily, say thank you to Uncle Richard." "Thank you, Uncle Richard. Can I see you again tomorrow?" Richard looked at Amanda. "If Mom allows it, maybe yes." "Can I, Mom? Please?" "We'll see, Lily. Now let's go upstairs." "Amanda," Richard said before she entered the boarding house, "think about the job offer. It's a real opportunity." "I'll think about it," she said. "Good night." "Good night. And thank you for today." Richard returned home with a lighter heart. For the first time, he felt there was a real possibility of helping Amanda and Lily, and perhaps even redeeming himself for the mistake he had made. At home, he told Jennifer and the kids about the dinner. "What's Lily like?" asked Olivia, curious. "She's a very special girl, smart, polite, affectionate." "Just like Mandy," said Ethan. "That's right. She has many of her mother's traits." "Dad, when can we meet her?" asked Olivia. "When Amanda feels comfortable with it." "And when will that be?" Ethan wanted to know. "I don't know, son. It depends on many things." Jennifer watched her husband. "You've changed, Richard." "How so?" "More sensitive, more aware of the consequences of your actions." Richard reflected on his wife's comment. "I think meeting Amanda in that situation made me think about a lot of things." "That's good. You needed that." "Why didn't you tell me before that I was being insensitive?" "We told you several times," said Olivia. "Remember when you fired old Jim from the garden?" Richard remembered. Jim had been the family gardener for 5 years, but Richard fired him because he wanted to save money by hiring a cheaper company. "You were really upset," Richard acknowledged. "We were. Old Jim was almost family," said Ethan. "And Mandy was too," added Olivia. Richard realized there was a pattern in his behavior. Whenever a financial issue arose, he made practical decisions without considering the human side. "Do you think I should offer Amanda a job to work here at home again?" "I don't know if she'd accept," said Jennifer, "after everything that happened." "And would you be comfortable with that?" "Of course," Olivia said immediately. "Mandy was the best babysitter in the world." "But now she has her own daughter," Ethan pondered. "Maybe it would be weird for her." Jennifer agreed with Ethan. "I think the job with your friend is better, more neutral." The next day, Richard returned to the boarding house in the late afternoon. He found Amanda coming back from downtown with Lily. "Hi, Uncle Richard." Lily ran to him as soon as she saw him. "Hi, Princess. How was your day?" "Good. I went to work with Mom." Richard looked at Amanda. "You took her to sell things at the intersection?" "I had no one to leave her with," Amanda said defensively. Richard noticed the defensive tone in her voice and tried to soften it. "I wasn't criticizing. I just worry about her safety. I take good care of my daughter." "I know you do. I'm sorry if it seemed like I was questioning that." Amanda relaxed a bit. "It's all right. Have you thought about the job offer?" "I have." "And?" "I have some questions." "Go ahead." "This friend of yours, does she know about my situation? Does she know I'm living in a boarding house, that I have a young daughter?" "Yes, she does, and she doesn't see any problem with that." "And would the salary be enough for me to rent a small apartment?" "Definitely. She pays well." "When could I start?" Richard felt his heart race. "Are you interested?" "I'm seriously considering it." "Whenever you want. She's eager to meet you." Amanda fell silent for a few minutes, watching Lily, who was playing with a stick on the ground. "Richard, can I ask you a personal question?" "Of course." "Why is this so important to you?" "Be honest." Richard thought carefully about his answer. Because when I saw you at that dump, I realized I had destroyed a good person's life, and I realized I had become the kind of person I never wanted to be." "And that bothers you?" "A lot. I can't sleep well anymore thinking about it." "And do you think helping me now will ease your conscience?" Richard hesitated. "Maybe that's part of it, yes. But it's also because you deserve a chance to rebuild your life." "And you feel responsible for that?" "I feel completely responsible." Amanda studied him for a long moment. "At least you're being honest." "I'm trying to be." "All right. I'll agree to meet your friend." Richard felt a wave of relief. Really? Really, but with a few conditions. What are they? First, if it doesn't work out, you can't use it to say you tried to help me, and I was the one who didn't want it. Agreed. Second, you stop showing up here every day. It's drawing attention and people are gossiping. Richard hadn't thought of that. What kind of gossip? That I'm having an affair with a rich man, that Lily is his daughter. Richard was startled. Really? Really. And it's embarrassing me. I'm sorry. I didn't think of that. Third, when I get back on my feet, our debt is settled. I don't want to be forever in your debt. Amanda, it's not a debt. To me it is, and I want to pay it off. Richard understood it was important for Amanda to maintain her dignity. All right, agreed. So when can I meet your friend? Tomorrow, if you want. I can pick you up here and take you to talk to her. What about Lily? You can bring her along. Sarah has young kids too. It'll be good for her to meet Lily. Amanda nodded positively. All right. Amanda? Yes? Thank you for giving me this chance. Don't thank me yet. Let's see if your friend likes me. The next morning, Richard arrived at the boarding house to pick up Amanda and Lily. They were waiting at the entrance, and Richard noticed Amanda had dressed up carefully. She wore a simple but well-ironed white blouse and clean jeans. Lily had on a little yellow dress that, though old, was impeccable. You both look beautiful, Richard said sincerely. Thank you, said Amanda. I'm nervous. You don't need to be. Sarah is really nice. On the way to Sarah's house, Lily asked many questions about the children she was going to meet. Are they nice, Uncle Richard? Yes, they are. Noah is 3 years old, just like you, and Michael is 5. Will they want to play with me? I'm sure they will. Amanda was quiet, watching the scenery through the window. Richard could sense her tension. Amanda, everything will be fine. I hope so. Sarah's house was in a middle-class neighborhood, with tree-lined streets and well-kept homes. It was a very different environment from what Lily was used to. Wow, what a pretty house, said Lily when they arrived. Sarah greeted them at the door, smiling. She was a 40-year-old woman, elegant but not showy, with a warm way of treating people. Amanda, what a pleasure to meet you, and this must be Lily. Hi, said Lily timidly, hiding behind her mother. Hi, Lily. Would you like to meet Noah and Michael? They're excited to play with you. Lily's eyes lit up. Can I, Mommy? Yes, you can, sweetie. Sarah took Lily to the backyard where the boys were. Soon the sound of children playing and laughing could be heard. She's beautiful, Sarah said to Amanda, and very polite. Thank you. Richard told me a bit of your story. I'm so sorry for everything you've been through. Amanda looked at Richard and then back at Sarah. Did he tell you everything? He said you worked for his family, that you went through some hard times, and that you're a trustworthy person. Amanda relaxed a bit, seeing that Richard had been discreet. Shall we sit and talk? Suggested Sarah. They sat in the living room while Richard watched the children in the backyard. Amanda, could you tell me a bit about your experience with children? Amanda talked about the time she spent taking care of Ethan and Olivia, her responsibilities, and how she handled difficult situations. Do you have any specific training? Asked Sarah. I finished high school, and I did 1 year of nursing school, but I had to stop when I got pregnant. Nursing? How interesting. That could be very useful with the kids. It was my dream to be a nurse. Maybe one day I'll still manage to finish the course. Why not now? There are several colleges that offer night classes. Amanda sighed. Because I need to work and take care of Lily. There's no time or money left for studying. I understand, but it doesn't hurt to dream, right? That's true. Sarah explained her children's routine, the schedule, and the responsibilities Amanda would have. She talked about the salary, which was really good, and the benefits. You'd have weekends and holidays off, and during the week, you'd work from 7 in the morning to 6 in the evening. What about Lily? Can I bring her with me sometimes? Of course. In fact, that would be great. The kids could play together. Amanda got excited at the possibility. Really? Very much so. Noah and Michael would love to have a little friend to play with. After an hour of conversation, Sarah called the children for a snack. Lily was beaming, telling her mother about all the games she had played. "Mommy, they have a giant slide in the backyard and lots of toys." "How cool, sweetie. Can I come back here another day?" Sarah laughed. "Yes, you can, Lily, if your mum agrees to work here. You can come often." Lily looked at Amanda expectantly. "Will you take it, Mommy?" "Mommy is still talking with Aunt Sarah, sweetie." After the snack, Sarah took Amanda to a more private corner. "Amanda, I really liked you. Richard was right when he said you're a special person." "Thank you. I'd like you to work with us." "When could you start?" Amanda felt her heart race. "Whenever you'd like." "How about next Monday? That would give you time to get organized." "Perfect. And about housing? Richard mentioned you're in a boarding house." "It's temporary. I'm looking for a better place. I'm in no hurry for you to move, but when you find an apartment, I can help with the security deposit if needed." Amanda was moved by Sarah's generosity. "You're very kind." "It's not kindness, it's an investment. I want you to feel stable and secure so you can take good care of my children." When they left Sarah's house, Lily was ecstatic. "Mommy, are you really going to work there?" "Yes, I am, sweetie." "Yay! I'll get to play with Noah and Michael every day." Richard smiled, seeing Lily's happiness. "Did you like Sarah?" "I liked her a lot," said Amanda. "She's very different from what I expected." "How so?" "I don't know. I thought she'd be more formal, more distant, but she's very down to earth." "That's just how Sarah is. Very good people." "Thank you for introducing me to her." "Thank you for agreeing to meet her." On the way back, Lily slept in the back seat, tired from the morning of playing. Amanda Johnson was more relaxed, with a more hopeful expression on her face. "Amanda?" "Yes?" "Now that you have the job secured, do you want me to help you look for an apartment?" "Do you have time for that?" "Yes, I do. I can free up my afternoon today to search." "What about Lily?" "She can come with us. She has to like the place too." Amanda Johnson smiled. "Okay, let's look." They spent the afternoon visiting small apartments in safe neighborhoods with good infrastructure. Lily followed everything curiously, giving opinions about each place. "This one is too dark, Mommy," she said about the first apartment. "This one has no place to play," she complained about the second. At the third apartment they visited, Lily got excited. It was a small two-bedroom but well lit, with a living room that opened to a common yard where other children were playing. "I like this one, Mommy. There are kids to play with." Amanda Johnson liked it too. The apartment was simple but clean and well maintained. It was near a good quality public school and had easy access to public transportation. "How much is the rent?" Amanda Johnson asked the agent. The amount was high for her standards, but it fit within the salary that Sarah was going to pay. "I need to think," said Amanda Johnson. "Of course, but don't take too long to decide because good apartments in this neighborhood go quickly." When they left the apartment, Richard Wilson noticed that Amanda Johnson was worried. "What's wrong?" "It's just, even with Sarah's salary, it's going to be tight. Rent, fees, water, electricity. There won't be much left for food and other things. That's why I offered to help with the rent for the first few months." "I know, but I don't want to become dependent on your help." "It wouldn't be dependence. It would just be temporary support until you get settled." "What if you change your mind?" "I won't change it." "How can I be sure?" Richard Wilson thought about the question. "I can sign a contract if you want, guaranteeing the help for a set period." Amanda Johnson looked at him surprised. "You would do that?" "Yes, I would." "How long do you think you'd need to get settled?" "About 6 months, maybe a year." "Then I can commit to helping with half the rent for a year." "Half the rent?" "Yes, you pay half, I pay half. For a year, after that you take over everything." Amanda Johnson fell silent, considering the proposal. "Lily, what did you think of the apartment?" Richard Wilson asked to give Amanda Johnson time to think. "I liked it. It has a yard to play in and I saw lots of kids there. Would you like to live there?" "Yes, it's much better than the boarding house." "Why is it better?" "Because it's very noisy there and there are people who shout. Here seems calmer." Richard Wilson looked at Amanda Johnson, who was clearly moved by her daughter's observation. "Lily is right," said Amanda Johnson. "The boarding house is no place for a child." So? Okay, I accept your proposal. Richard Wilson felt a wave of relief. Really? Really? But I want that contract you mentioned. No problem. I can have my lawyer prepare it. And I want a clause saying that if I can pay everything before the deadline, I can end the agreement early. Of course. And another saying you can't back out of the agreement without a very serious reason. Agreed. Lily had overheard part of the conversation. Does that mean we're going to live in the pretty apartment? Yes, it does, honey, said Amanda Johnson, smiling. Yay! Lily celebrated. Thank you, Uncle Richard. You're welcome, Princess. Uncle Richard, a yes? You're a really cool uncle. Richard Wilson felt his eyes well up. You're very special too, Lily. They went back to the apartment, and Amanda Johnson closed the deal with the agent. The move would be at the end of the week, 3 days before she started working for Sarah. When Richard left them at the boarding house, Amanda said goodbye with more affection than before. Richard, thank you for everything, really. Thank you for letting me help. I think you really have changed. How so? 3 years ago, you were only worried about saving money. Today, you're spending money to help other people. Richard reflected on the comment. I guess I learned that some things are more important than money. That's a good lesson. Amanda? Yes? Can I ask you a question? Go ahead. Do you forgive me for what happened 3 years ago? Amanda thought carefully about her answer. I'm still processing everything, but I think yes, I can forgive. Thank you. But I don't forget, and I don't want you to forget either. I won't forget. Good, because if you forget, you might repeat the same mistake with other people. Richard agreed with her. You're right. That evening, Richard told his family about the day's developments. I'm so glad everything worked out, said Jennifer. I'm happy for Amanda. And now, asked Olivia, can we meet Lily? Let's let them get settled first. Then we can arrange a meeting. Dad, are you happy? Asked Ethan. Yes, son. Very happy. Why? Richard thought about the answer. Because I managed to do something good to make up for something bad I did. Does that make you feel better? Asked Olivia. It does, but the most important thing is that Amanda and Lily now have a chance to rebuild their lives. And did you learn anything? Ethan wanted to know. I learned a lot. I learned that people aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. That every decision we make affects real lives. Jennifer smiled at her husband. I'm proud of you. Why? For having the courage to recognize your mistake and try to fix it. I still have a lot to make up for. One step at a time. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, please take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps us who are just starting out. Now, continuing. Over the weekend, Richard helped Amanda with the move. She didn't have many things, just some clothes, Lily's toys, and basic utensils. But even so, it was emotional to see them leaving the boarding house and going to the new apartment. Lily was thrilled with the apartment. She ran through all the rooms, choosing which would be her bedroom, where she would put her toys. Mommy, can I decorate my room? Yes, sweetie. Little by little, we'll buy pretty things to make our home more cheerful. Richard watched the happiness of the two and felt complete in a way he hadn't experienced in a long time. Amanda, do you need anything else today? I think we're all set for now. Tomorrow I'll buy a few things we're missing. If you need anything urgent, you can call me. Okay. And on Monday, can I pick you up for your first day of work? Yes, please, thank you. Lily approached Richard. Uncle Richard, now that we have a nice home, can you come have dinner with us sometime? Amanda was embarrassed. Lily, Uncle Richard has his own family. But he can come sometimes, right, Mommy? Richard looked at Amanda. If you don't mind, I'd love to. Well, maybe someday. Yay, celebrated Lily. And can I meet Uncle Richard's children too? Lily, don't be pushy. It's not pushy, said Richard. Ethan and Olivia are dying to meet you too. Really? Really? They're always asking about you. Can I meet them, Mommy? Amanda hesitated. We'll see, sweetie. Let Mommy get used to the new home and new job first. Okay, said Lily, a little disappointed. Richard knelt down to Lily's level. Lily, your mother is right. It's better for her to get used to the new things first, but soon you'll get to meet Ethan and Olivia. Promise? I promise. On Monday, Richard picked up Amanda for her first day of work. She was visibly nervous. "What if I can't handle it?" she said during the drive. "You'll handle it just fine. You're great with kids. It's been a while since I've taken care of any child other than Lily. It's like riding a bike. You don't forget. And what if the boys don't like me? They already do. You saw how comfortable they were with you last week." When they arrived at Sarah's house, Noah and Michael were waiting at the window. As soon as they saw Amanda getting out of the car, they came running out to greet her. "Aunt Amanda, did you bring Lily?" asked Noah. "Not today, sweetie. She's at daycare, but I can bring her tomorrow." "Yay!" Both boys cheered. Sarah welcomed Amanda with a warm smile and went over the household routine again, the children's schedules, where important things were kept. "If you have any questions, just call me," Sarah said before leaving for work. "And don't worry if something goes wrong at first. It's normal." Richard stayed a few more minutes to make sure everything was okay and then said goodbye. "How do you feel?" he asked Amanda. "Better. I think it's going to work out." "I'm sure it will." "Richard?" "Yes." "Thank you. For everything. Thank you for letting me be part of this." Richard left Sarah's house feeling lighter than he had in years. For the first time, he felt he was truly contributing to other people's well-being, rather than just thinking about his own benefit. During the week, Richard called a few times to see how Amanda was adjusting. The news was always good. Sarah constantly praised Amanda's work and the children adored her. At the end of the first week, Richard stopped by Sarah's house just as Amanda was leaving. "How was the week?" he asked. "Better than I expected. Sarah is a wonderful boss and the children are so sweet." "And Lily, how is she adapting to the new apartment?" "She loves it. She's already made friends with several kids in the building." "That's great." "Richard, can I tell you something?" "Of course." "Last night Lily asked me if you were our guardian angel." Richard laughed. "And what did you say?" "I said that sometimes people come into our lives to help us when we need it most." "And was she satisfied with the answer?" "She was. But then she asked if you were our friend now." "And what did you say?" "I said yes, that you are our friend now." Richard felt a strong emotion. "Really?" "Really. Because it's true, isn't it?" "Yes, it is. Very true. Very. So, as our friend, would you like to come have dinner with us on Saturday?" Lily won't stop asking. Richard was genuinely moved. "I would love to. And you can bring Ethan and Olivia if they'd like to come. They'll be over the moon." "So it's settled?" "It's settled." On Saturday, Richard arrived at Amanda's apartment with Ethan and Olivia. The twins were eager to see Amanda again and meet Lily. "Mandy!" they both shouted as soon as she opened the door. Amanda hugged them affectionately. "Wow, you've grown so much. You're huge." "You look different too," said Olivia. "Prettier." "Thank you, Olivia. Do you want to meet Lily?" Lily appeared from behind her mother, a bit shy around the teenagers. "Hi, Lily," said Ethan, kneeling down to her level. "I'm Ethan." "And I'm Olivia. Your dad has told us so much about you." Lily looked at Richard, confused. "Dad?" Richard realized the confusion. "She means me, Lily, because I'm Olivia and Ethan's dad." "Oh." Lily understood. "You're the twins?" "We are," said Olivia. "Want to see a picture of us when we were babies?" Lily got excited. "Yes." Olivia showed pictures on her phone of when she and Ethan were little. Lily was fascinated looking at their baby pictures, at their toddler photos, when they were the same age she was now. "You were so cute," said Lily. "Thank you. You're very cute too," said Ethan. During dinner, which Amanda had prepared with great care, the children chatted animatedly. Lily asked Ethan and Olivia thousands of questions about school, sports, friends. "Do you have lots of friends?" asked Lily. "We do," said Olivia. "And you?" "Now I do. There are several nice kids in our new building." "That's great," said Ethan. "It's important to have friends." Richard watched the interaction between the children with a full heart. He saw how Ethan and Olivia treated Lily with affection and patience, including her in conversations and games. Amanda was also visibly moved seeing her daughter so comfortable with Richard's children. "Amanda, dinner is delicious," said Richard. "Thank you. I wanted to make it special for you all." "Aunt Mandy always cooked really well," said Olivia. "I remember she used to make amazing cakes." "Do you still make cakes, Mom?" asked Lily. "I haven't in a long time, honey." "Why not?" "Because cakes are expensive to make." Ethan and Olivia exchanged glances, understanding the difficulties Amanda had been through. "But now you can make them again," said Ethan kindly. "That's true," said Amanda, smiling. "Now I can make them again." After dinner, the children played in the living room while Richard and Amanda talked in the kitchen, washing dishes. "How are you feeling?" asked Richard. "Good. Really good. It feels like my life is getting back on track." "That's good. And you? How are you feeling?" Richard thought about the question. "Complete. For the first time in a long time, I feel like a complete person." "Why?" "Because I managed to do something truly good. Something that changed lives for the better." "It really did," said Amanda. "Lily is so happy now. She laughs more, plays more, talks more." "And you?" "Me too. I hadn't realized how sad I was until I started being happy again." Richard smiled. "Then it was worth it." "Very much." They stayed silent for a few minutes, listening to the sound of the children playing in the living room. "Richard." "Yes?" "Can I ask you a personal question?" "Of course." "Have you really changed, or are you just trying to make amends?" Richard reflected on the question. "I think both. I changed because I realized I was being a person I didn't like, and I'm trying to make amends because I recognize I hurt people." "And what made you realize that?" "Seeing you at that dump, realizing that my decision 3 years ago had led you to that situation." "And if you hadn't found me, would you have changed anyway?" Richard hesitated. "I don't know, maybe not." "At least you're honest." "I'm trying to be." From the living room came the sound of Lily laughing loudly at some game with Ethan and Olivia. "She's having so much fun," said Amanda. "My kids too, they love having a little sister to look after." "Little sister? That's how they refer to her." Amanda smiled. "That's cute." "It really is." When Richard and his children left, Lily was visibly sad about the goodbye. "Are they coming back, Mom?" "Yes, honey." "When?" "I don't know, but they will come back." "Can I go to their house too?" Amanda hesitated. "We'll see, Lily." "Please, Mom. They're really nice." "I know they are, honey, but their house is very different from ours." "Why is that a problem?" Amanda didn't know how to explain to a 3-year-old the social differences and the discomfort she felt about it. "It's not a problem, honey. It's just... it's different." "But different isn't bad, right, Mom?" "No, honey. Different isn't bad." On Monday, when Richard picked up Amanda for work, she mentioned Lily's question. "She wants to see your house." "And you don't want to let her?" "It's not that I don't want to. It's just, I feel uncomfortable." "Why?" "Because our realities are very different. I'm afraid she might feel bad afterward." "What do you mean?" "You have a big house, nice things. Lily might start thinking our life is too poor." Richard understood Amanda's concern. "I can talk to the kids about it, explain that we have to be sensitive to differences." "You would do that?" "Of course. Ethan and Olivia are aware kids. They'll understand." "And are you sure they don't mind having Lily at your house?" "I'm sure. In fact, they keep asking when she can come over." "So, maybe next Saturday." "Perfect. Jennifer will love meeting Lily too." "How do you think your wife will react to her?" "Jennifer is already excited to meet her. She was very touched by your story." "And she doesn't mind you helping us?" "On the contrary, she was the one who encouraged me the most to do this." Amanda smiled. "Your family seems very special. They're good people, and you and Lily are too." On Saturday, Richard went to pick up Amanda and Lily to take them to his house. Lily was all dressed up, wearing a dress that Amanda had bought especially for the occasion. "I'm nervous," said Amanda during the ride. "Why?" "I don't know. Maybe afraid I won't fit in." "You'll fit in perfectly." "Lily, are you excited?" asked Richard through the rearview mirror. Very. I want to see the twins' room and play in the big garden they talked about. When they arrived at Richard's house, Lily was impressed by the size of the property. Wow, Mom, the house is huge. Jennifer greeted them at the door with a warm smile. Amanda, what a pleasure to meet you in person, and this must be the famous Lily. Hi, said Lily a bit shyly. Hi, Lily. Can I give you a hug? Lily nodded positively and let Jennifer hug her. Would you like to see the house? Offered Jennifer. During the house tour, Lily was amazed by every room, especially the twins' room with its modern decor and many books and trophies. Do you win trophies? Asked Lily. Yes, we do, said Olivia. This one is from my last gymnastics championship. And this is from my soccer team, added Ethan. You're really good. Thank you, Lily, said Olivia. Do you play any sports? No, but I like to run. Then you have a talent for track and field, said Ethan. In the garden, Lily had a lot of fun playing on the swing and slide. Ethan and Olivia accompanied her, helping and playing along. Amanda watched everything a bit tense, but gradually relaxed as she saw how everyone treated Lily with naturalness and affection. Your daughter is adorable, Jennifer told Amanda. Thank you, she's having so much fun here. And you, are you feeling okay? Yes, I am. You're all very welcoming. Richard told us a bit of your story. I'm so sorry for everything you've been through. Thank you, but things are getting better now. That's good. And how's work with Sarah? Great. She's a wonderful boss and the kids are sweethearts. Richard said you had a dream of becoming a nurse. Yes, I do. Maybe one day I'll still manage to do it. Why not now? Asked Jennifer, echoing the question Sarah had asked. Because, well, it's complicated. I have Lily work, but there are night classes, right? There are, but it's expensive, and I'd have to leave Lily alone at night. Jennifer thought for a moment. What if you had help with that? What kind of help? Well, Lily could stay here with us on the nights you have class. Ethan and Olivia would love to look after her. Amanda was surprised by the offer. You would do that? Of course, it would be a pleasure, but that's a lot of work for you. It's not work when you enjoy doing it. Amanda looked at Lily, who was happily playing with Ethan and Olivia, and then at Jennifer. You are amazing people. We are people who want to help, just like you helped our family when you took care of our children. During lunch, Lily was enchanted by the beautiful table, the matching plates, the varied food. Everything is so beautiful here, she said. Thank you, Lily, said Jennifer. I like to put in extra effort when we have special guests. Am I a special guest? Very special. Lily smiled radiantly. I liked being special. After lunch, while the children played in the living room, Richard, Jennifer and Amanda talked on the porch. Amanda, I'm going to insist on the nursing course issue, said Jennifer. It's your dream, and I think you should go for it. It's just, I don't know if I can manage everything. With our help, you can, said Richard. Lily can stay here on your class nights. And on weekends, when you need to study, she can come too, added Jennifer. You would really do that? Amanda, said Richard, you took care of our children as if they were your own. Now it's our turn to repay you. Besides, Jennifer continued, Lily is already like a daughter to us too. Amanda was moved by the words. I don't know what to say. Don't say anything. Just accept it, said Jennifer, and think about the future. How your life can improve if you fulfill your dream, added Richard. And think about Lily. How proud she will be of her nurse mother, said Jennifer. Amanda looked at her daughter, who was laughing with Ethan and Olivia, and made a decision that would change their lives forever. Okay, I'll look into the courses. Really? Asked Richard, excited. Really? I think it's time for me to stop being afraid and go after my dreams. That's wonderful, said Jennifer. I'll help you research the best colleges. Thank you. I don't know how to repay so much kindness. You don't need to repay, said Richard. That's what families do. Families? Yes, said Jennifer, because that's what we are now. A family. Amanda was moved to tears. Thank you for everything. That afternoon, Lily didn't want to leave. She had so much fun that she asked to sleep over at the aunt and uncle's house. Can I sleep here tonight, Mommy? Please? Not tonight, honey, but maybe another day. When? Soon, honey. Soon. Ethan and Olivia also asked for Lily to stay. "Dad, can she sleep over?" "If Amanda allows it," said Richard. Amanda hesitated. It was the first time she would be separated from Lily for her to sleep elsewhere. "Mommy, I really want to stay," insisted Lily. It's the first time you'll sleep away from me." "But I won't be far. I'll be with friends." Jennifer approached Amanda. "If you want, you can stay too. We have plenty of rooms." "No, thank you. If Lily stays, I'll take the opportunity to organize some things at home." "Then let her stay," encouraged Richard. "It will be good for her and for the kids." Amanda agreed, and Lily was overjoyed. It was a new stage in their lives. The first night, Lily slept away from her mother, but feeling safe and happy. When Richard took Amanda home, she was thoughtful. "What are you thinking about?" he asked. "About how life has changed. 2 months ago, I was selling water at the traffic light. Today, my daughter is sleeping in a loving home while I plan to go back to college. And how do you feel about that?" "Grateful, but also scared." "Scared of what?" "Of the possibility of it going wrong, of going back to where I was. That won't happen." "How can you be sure?" "Because now you have support. You're not alone on this journey." Amanda smiled. "That's true. I'm not alone. And you never will be again." That night, Amanda slept alone for the first time in 3 years. It felt strange not having Lily by my side, but it was also liberating to know my daughter was safe and happy. The next morning, Richard brought Lily back, euphoric about her experience. "Mommy, it was the best day of my life. We slept in Olivia's room. She told me stories. We ate popcorn watching movies." "That's wonderful, honey. Did you have a great time?" "So much. Can I sleep over there again?" "Maybe, sweetie. We'll see." Richard watched Lily's happiness and turned to Amanda. "So, did you look into the nursing courses?" "Yes, I did. There's one at the college nearby starting next semester." "That's great. Are you going to apply?" "Yes, I am. Last night, I got up the courage and decided it's now or never." "I'm so proud of you. Thank you for everything." In the following months, Amanda enrolled in the nursing course and started evening classes. On class nights, Lily stayed at Richard and Jennifer's house, being cared for by Ethan and Olivia as if she were their little sister. The adjustment was natural and harmonious. Lily felt at home in Richard's family, and everyone treated her with genuine love. Amanda thrived at work with Sarah and in her studies. Her grades were excellent, and she was fulfilling the dream she had abandoned 3 years earlier. 1 year later, on a Saturday morning, Richard received an emotional call from Amanda. "Richard, can you come over? I have some news to share." "Of course. Did something happen?" "Yes, but it's good news." Richard arrived at Amanda's apartment and found her beaming, with Lily jumping for joy beside her. "What happened?" "I got a full scholarship for the nursing course, an academic merit scholarship." Richard was thrilled. "Really, that's wonderful. This means I won't need your financial help for school anymore." "Amanda, that's amazing. I'm so proud of you." "Mommy was the best student in the class," said Lily proudly. "Is that true, Princess?" "Yes." "The teacher said Mommy is really smart." Richard hugged Amanda, moved. "You deserve all the success in the world." "Thank you, and thank you for supporting me when I needed it most. Thank you for letting me be part of your journey." Lily tugged at Richard's pants. "Uncle Richard, now that Mommy is doing well in school, can I have a little brother?" Richard and Amanda laughed at the unexpected question. "Lily, where did you get that idea?" asked Amanda. "From Olivia. She said families grow when people are happy." Amanda blushed. "Lily, that's not how it works." "But you are happy, right?" Richard and Amanda exchanged glances, both unsure how to respond. "We are happy, Princess," Richard finally said. "But not all families are the same." "What do you mean?" "Some families form in different ways, like our chosen family." "Chosen family?" "That's when people who really care about each other decide to be family, even if they're not related by blood." Lily thought about the explanation. "So you chose me to be your family?" "Exactly," said Amanda. "And we chose you too." "That's so cool. I like being chosen." Richard was touched by the conversation. The family they had formed was truly special, based on love, choice, and mutual care. 2 years later, Amanda graduated from nursing with honors. The graduation was an emotional event, with the whole family present. Richard, Jennifer, Ethan, Olivia, and Lily all applauding as Amanda walked across the stage to receive her diploma. Lily, now 6 years old, was beaming with pride for her mother. "Mommy is a real nurse now," she shouted when Amanda came off the stage. "Yes, honey, Mommy achieved her dream." Richard approached Amanda after the ceremony. "How do you feel?" "Complete. For the first time in my life, I feel truly complete." "And now, what are your plans?" "I got a job at Mercy General Hospital. I'll be working in pediatrics." "Perfect. You're going to be an amazing nurse, and I hope so." Lily tugged her mother's dress. "Mommy, now that you're a nurse, can I tell everyone?" "Yes, honey." "Yay, I'll tell everyone at school that my mom saves children." Amanda laughed. "It's not exactly like that, Lily, but I will help take care of sick children. It's almost the same thing." That evening, Richard organized a surprise party at home to celebrate Amanda's graduation. He invited Sarah and the kids, some friends Amanda had made in college, and prepared a special celebration. When Amanda got home and saw the party, she was moved to tears. "You did all this for me?" "Of course," said Jennifer. "You deserve to be celebrated." "I don't know what to say." "Don't say anything," said Richard. "Just enjoy." During the party, Richard made an emotional toast. "I want to toast to Amanda, a woman who taught me the true meaning of strength, determination, and forgiveness, who turned a difficult situation into an opportunity for growth for all of us." Everyone applauded, and Amanda stood up to respond. "I want to thank everyone who supported me on this journey, especially Richard, who had the courage to recognize a mistake and the generosity to try to fix it, and to his family, who welcomed us as if we were blood relatives." Lily tugged her mother's shirt. "Can I speak too?" "Of course, honey." Lily climbed onto a chair to be at the adult's height. "I want to thank you for having the best mommy in the world and the best chosen family too. Thank you for choosing me." Everyone laughed and applauded Lily's sincere words. 5 years had passed since that day at the dump when Richard found Amanda and Lily. Now Amanda was a respected nurse at the hospital. Lily, a smart and happy 8-year-old girl, studying at a good private school that Richard insisted on paying for. Life had stabilized in a way none of them could have imagined. Amanda had paid off all her financial commitments to Richard and now supported herself and Lily with independence and dignity. But the bonds that had formed remained strong. Lily spent alternating weekends at Richard and Jennifer's house. Ethan and Olivia had become her heart siblings. One Sunday morning, Richard received a call from Amanda. "Richard, can you come over? I need to talk to you about something important." "Of course. Is everything okay?" "Everything's fine. It's just important." Richard arrived at Amanda's apartment, which was now larger and better decorated, reflecting her prosperity, and found Lily playing in the living room. "Hi, Uncle Richard." She ran to hug him. "Hi, Princess. How are you?" "Good. Mommy wants to talk to you about something important." "And do you know what it is?" "Yes, but it's still a secret." Amanda appeared from the kitchen with a serious but happy expression. "Thank you for coming. What happened?" "Have a seat, I'll tell you." Richard sat on the sofa, curious and a little worried. "Richard, do you remember the day you found me at the dump?" "How could I forget?" "That day, you asked me who Lily's father was." Richard tensed up. "I remember." "And I told you he had abandoned me when he found out about the pregnancy." "Yes? Well, I didn't tell you the whole truth." Richard felt his stomach tighten. "What do you mean?" "Lily's father. Her father is someone you know very well." "Who?" Amanda took a deep breath. "It's Michael. Your son, Michael." Richard was shocked. Michael was his eldest son, 28 years old, who lived in Ireland working for a multinational company. "What do you mean?" asked Richard, trying to process the information. "When I worked at your house 6 years ago, Michael was on break from college. We got involved." Richard was stunned. "Why did you never tell me this?" "Because when I told Michael I was pregnant, he said it wasn't his problem, that I should figure it out myself." "Oh my God. And then when you fired me, I thought you two had planned this, that maybe you knew about the pregnancy and wanted to keep me away from the family." Richard Wilson stood up, running his hands through his hair. "Amanda, I had no idea about any of this. I know that now. But back then, I thought I knew. Why are you telling me this now?" "Because Lily is asking questions about her father, and because I think you have the right to know she's your real granddaughter." Richard looked at Lily, who was playing on the floor, unaware of the conversation that would change everything. "My granddaughter." "Yes, your biological granddaughter." Richard sat down again, trying to process the information. "Does Michael know?" "No. I never spoke to him again after that day." "And you're sure?" "Absolutely. There was no one else in my life at that time." Richard stayed silent for several minutes, watching Lily. Now he understood why he had felt so connected to her from the very beginning. "What do you want to do with this information?" he asked. "Nothing. I don't want anything from Michael. I don't want child support. I don't want legal recognition. I just wanted you to know." "And Lily?" "Lily doesn't know who her father is. When she asks, I tell her he left before she was born. But she'll grow up and want more details." "I know. That's why I'm telling you now, so we can decide together how to handle this." Richard looked at Lily again. "She has the right to know who her father is." "She does, but she also has the right to be protected from rejection. Michael might have changed. It's been 6 years. He might, but are you willing to take that risk with Lily's heart?" Richard understood the dilemma. If he contacted Michael and he rejected Lily again, it would be devastating for the girl. "What do you suggest?" "For now, nothing. Let things stay as they are. Lily is happy. She has a family that loves her. Maybe it's better this way. And if one day she wants to look for her father, then we'll decide what to do. But for now, she's too young to understand these complications." Richard agreed with Amanda. "You're right. It's not worth risking her happiness for something uncertain. But I wanted you to know the truth, because you've been more of a father to Lily than her biological father ever was." Richard got emotional. "Thank you for telling me, and thank you for being the grandfather Lily deserved to have, even without knowing you were her real grandfather." Lily approached the two. "Are you done talking about the secret?" "We are, sweetie," said Amanda. "And can I know what the secret was?" Richard and Amanda exchanged glances. "The secret was that Uncle Richard is even more special to you than you imagined," said Amanda diplomatically. "What do you mean?" "He's like your real grandfather." Lily got excited. "Really? Can I call him Grandpa?" Richard got emotional. "If you want to, Princess." "I do. Hi, Grandpa Richard." Richard picked her up, his eyes moist. "Hi, my little granddaughter." The revelation didn't change the family dynamic. Lily continued to be loved and cared for by everyone, as she always had been. But Richard now knew that the special feelings he had for her weren't just from guilt or kindness. It was the natural love of a grandfather for his granddaughter. He decided not to tell Jennifer, Ethan, and Olivia about Lily's true paternity. He saw no need to complicate things, especially since the love everyone felt for her was genuine and wouldn't change with the revelation. 2 years later, when Lily turned 10, she started asking more direct questions about her father. "Mum, why did my father leave?" "Because he was very young and wasn't ready to be a father, sweetie." "But didn't he even want to meet me?" Amanda hesitated. "No, sweetie, he didn't want to." "Does he know I exist?" "He does. And he still doesn't want to see me." Amanda felt her heart tighten. "Sweetie, some people don't know how to be parents. It's not your fault." "Did I do something wrong?" "No, my love. You didn't do anything wrong. You're perfect." "Then why doesn't he want me?" Amanda didn't know how to answer such a painful question. Because he missed the chance to meet the most wonderful girl in the world. Mommy, do you think he'll ever change his mind? I don't know, sweetheart. But what I do know is that you have lots of love in your life. You have Mommy, Grandpa Richard, Grandma Jennifer, Uncles Ethan and Olivia. I know, but sometimes I'm curious about him. It's normal to be curious. When you're older, if you still want to know about him, we'll talk again. Promise. I promise. That night, Amanda called Richard and told him about the conversation with Lily. She's starting to ask harder questions, and what did you tell her? The truth adapted for her age, that her father wasn't ready to be a dad, and she accepted that. For now, but I noticed her curiosity is growing. What do you think we should do? I still think it's too early to tell her about Michael, but maybe it's time for you to talk to him. Tell Michael about Lily. Yes, not to force a relationship, but so he knows he has a daughter. If Lily ever wants to meet her father, at least Michael will already know she exists. Richard stayed silent, considering the suggestion. Do you think it's the right thing to do? I think it's the fair thing to do. Lily has the right to know her father was informed about her. What if Michael wants to meet her? Then we'll evaluate whether he's changed, whether he's ready to be a father now. What if he wants nothing to do with her? At least we tried. Richard agreed. All right, I'll talk to Michael. The next day, Richard called Michael in Ireland. It was hard for him to confront his son about something so delicate. Hi, Dad. Everything okay? Hi, Michael. I need to talk to you about something important. What happened? Is everyone all right? Yes. But I need to tell you something that happened a few years ago. Go ahead, Dad. Richard took a deep breath. Michael, do you remember Amanda, the nanny who worked here at our house? There was a pause on the other end of the line. Yes, I remember. Why are you asking about her? Because she has a daughter of yours. The silence stretched for several seconds. What do you mean, Dad? Lily, the daughter she had 10 years ago. She's your daughter. Dad, that's impossible. Why would it be impossible? Because if she had a child of mine, she would have looked for me. She did look for you, Michael, 10 years ago, and you said it wasn't your problem. Another long silence. Dad, I was very young. I know you were young, but now you're 28, and you have a 10-year-old daughter who doesn't know her father. How do you know about this? Richard briefly told him about how he had reconnected with Amanda, how he had helped her and Lily, about the revelation of paternity. My God, Dad. I didn't know. Didn't know what? That she was going through hard times, that Lily actually existed. She exists, Michael, and she's a wonderful girl. And does she know I'm the father? No, Amanda never told her. Why? Because you rejected her when she needed support the most. Michael stayed silent, processing the information. Dad, I want to meet her. Are you sure? Yes, I want to meet my daughter. Michael, this isn't a game. Lily is a child who's already suffered from her father's absence. If you're going to meet her, you have to be prepared to be a real father. I understand, Dad. Not just meet her, be present, participate in her life, take responsibility. I want that, Dad. I swear I do. Richard still had doubts, but decided to give his son a chance. Then I'll talk with Amanda, but I'll make it clear that any approach has to be gradual and respect Lily's pace. Okay, Dad, whatever you think is best. And Michael? Yes, Dad? If you hurt this girl, you'll have to answer to me. I won't hurt her, Dad. I promise. Richard Wilson hung up the phone with mixed feelings. Part of him was happy that Michael wanted to meet Lily. Another part was worried about the possible consequences. He called Amanda Johnson and told her about the conversation. And what did you think of his reaction? He seemed sincere, but it's been 6 years of maturing. He might really have changed. And now? Now you decide. She's your daughter. If you want to give Michael a chance, we'll do it gradually. What if it goes wrong? Then we protect Lily and cut off contact. Amanda fell silent, thinking about the possibilities. Amanda, I'm here. Just thinking. And what's your conclusion? I think Lily deserves the chance to meet her father, even if it's risky. Are you sure? I am, but with conditions. What are they? First, Michael comes to the US to meet Lily. If he's really interested, he'll make that effort. I agree. Second, the first meeting is here at our house, with you present. I want Lily to feel safe. Perfect. Third, if Lily doesn't like him or feels uncomfortable, it's over. We don't force anything. Agreed. And fourth, if Michael goes back to Ireland after meeting Lily, he has to keep in regular contact. He can't be a father only once in a while. I'll make all of that very clear to him. Amanda agreed, and Richard called Michael again, explaining the conditions. Dad, I accept all the conditions. When can I come to the US? Whenever you want, but don't tell anyone in the family for now. We want to see how Lily reacts first. Okay, can I come next week? You can. I'll talk to Amanda and confirm with you. A week later, Michael arrived in the US. He was visibly nervous to meet the daughter he had never seen. Richard picked him up at the airport and, on the way to Amanda's apartment, they talked about the situation. How should I introduce myself to her? Asked Michael. As a family friend who came to meet you. If you get along, then Amanda will gradually explain who you are. What if she doesn't like me? Then you go back to Ireland and never bother her again. Dad, I'm really scared. It's normal to be scared, but remember that Lily will be scared too. Be kind to her. When they arrived at Amanda's apartment, Lily was playing in the living room. Seeing Richard with a strange man, she became shy. Lily, this is Michael. He's my son and came to meet you. Lily approached slowly. Hi. Hi, Lily. Nice to meet you. Are you Ethan and Olivia's brother? Yes, I am. I'm their older brother. Wow, you're much older than them. Michael laughed. That's true. I'm a lot older. And where do you live? I live in a country far from here. It's called Ireland. Is it really far? Very far. You have to take a plane and fly for many hours. Lily was impressed. Wow, and you came by plane just to meet me? Yes, I did, because I heard you're a very special girl. Who said that? Your grandpa Richard. Lily smiled, liking the compliment. Do you want to play with me? Yes, I do. What do you like to play? Lots of things. Want to see my toys? Lily took Michael to her room, showing him all her toys and telling him about her favorite games. Michael listened to her with genuine attention, asking questions and showing real interest. Richard and Amanda watched the interaction from the living room. What do you think? Asked Richard. He seems different from the young man who rejected me 10 years ago. More mature. Much more mature. And genuinely interested in Lily. Does that make you feel more at ease or more worried? A bit of both. At ease because he seems sincere. Worried because Lily might get attached to him. After 2 hours of playing, Lily was completely at ease with Michael. She sat beside him on the couch and asked, Michael, do you have children? Michael looked at Amanda, who nodded positively. No, Lily, I don't have children, but I'd really love to have a daughter like you. Really? Why? Because you're smart, funny, caring. Any father would be proud to have a daughter like that. Lily became thoughtful. My father wasn't proud of me. Michael felt his heart tighten. What do you mean? My father left before I was born. He didn't want to meet me. I'm sure he regretted that. You think so? Yes, I do. Because anyone who met you would fall in love with you. Lily smiled. Did you fall in love with me? Yes, I did. You're very special. So can you be my dad? The question took everyone by surprise. Michael looked at Amanda and Richard, not knowing how to respond. Lily, said Amanda, Michael just came to meet you. He lives very far from here. But he could come live nearby. It's not that simple, honey. Why not? Because he has work over in Ireland. Lily became sad. So he's leaving? Yes, honey. But he really enjoyed meeting you. Lily turned to Michael. Don't you want to be my dad? Michael was moved by the direct question. Lily, I'd love to be your dad, but that's a very serious thing. Why is it serious? Because being a dad means always being there, taking care of you when you're sick, helping with schoolwork, being part of your life every day. And you can't do that? Living in Ireland, it would be very difficult. Lily remained silent for a few minutes, processing the information. So you're leaving, and I won't see you anymore? No, Lily. If you want, I can come visit you from time to time. From time to time, how long is that? Michael looked at Amanda, who was visibly moved by the conversation. I don't know, Lily. Maybe every few months. Is that a little or a lot? It's what I can offer living so far away. Lily got up from the couch and went to Amanda. Mummy, can I talk to you? Of course, honey. Lily took Amanda to the bedroom and closed the door. They spoke quietly for several minutes. When they returned, Lily seemed to have made a decision. Michael, I've decided something. What have you decided? I really like you, but if you can only be my dad from time to time, then it's better for you to be my special friend. Special friend? Yes, a friend who lives far away but likes me very much and comes to visit when he can. Michael was moved by Lily's maturity. Would you like me to be your special friend? Yes, I would, but there's one condition. What is it? You have to promise you'll really come visit me. I promise, Lily. And you have to call me sometimes. I promise that too. And when I grow up and can travel alone, can I come visit you in Ireland? Michael looked at Amanda, who nodded positively. Yes, Lily. Then it's settled. You're my special friend. Lily extended her hand to Michael, who shook it affectionately. Agreed, Lily. I'm your special friend. That night, after Lily fell asleep, Amanda, Richard, and Michael talked about how to proceed. She's amazing, said Michael. Much more mature than I expected. Lily has always been a special child, said Amanda. And now? How do you want me to behave? Exactly as you promised her, said Richard. Be the special friend who visits her and stays in touch. And about telling her I'm the father. Not for now, said Amanda. Let her get used to you first. If you develop a strong bond, then we'll think about telling the truth. I agree, said Richard. Lily is still too young to understand the complexities of the situation. All right, I'll follow her pace. Michael spent 3 more days in Brazil, visiting Lily every day. They developed a genuine friendship, playing, talking, getting to know each other. When it was time for Michael to return to Ireland, Lily felt sad but understood he needed to go. Are you really going to call me? She asked. Yes, I will, every week. And will you come back to visit me? I will in 3 months. Promise? I promise. Lily hugged him tightly. Goodbye, special friend. Goodbye, Lily. Take good care of Mommy for me. After Michael left, Lily remarked to Amanda, Mommy, Michael is really nice. Yes, he is, sweetie. He reminds me of someone, but I don't know who. Amanda tensed up. What do you mean? He has a way of smiling that reminds me of someone, and his eyes look like mine. You think so? I do. Mommy, did you know Michael before? Yes, I did. When I worked at Grandpa Richard's house. Was he nice back then too? Yes, he was. Then why did you never talk about him before? Amanda hesitated. Because it had been a very long time since I last saw him. I see. Amanda grew worried that Lily was starting to suspect the truth. She talked to Richard about it. She's very smart. She might be starting to put the pieces together. And what do we do if she asks directly? Then we tell her the truth, but adapted for her age. In the following months, Michael kept all his promises. He called Lily every week. They talked via video chat. He told her about Ireland, and she told him about school and her games. Lily was clearly happy with Michael's presence in her life, even from a distance. 3 months later, as promised, Michael returned to visit her. This time, Lily was even more at ease with him. Michael, you really came back. She ran to hug him. Of course I came back. I promised, didn't I? You did. And did you bring any presents from Ireland? Yes, I did. Lots of cool things. Michael had brought Irish children's books, miniature traditional clothes, traditional sweets, and pictures of Ireland to show Lily. During this visit, Lily asked a question that changed everything. Michael, can I tell you a secret? Of course, Lily. Sometimes I pretend that you're my dad. Michael was speechless. Is it wrong for me to pretend that? Asked Lily, worried about his reaction. It's not wrong, Lily. It's very sweet of you to think that. Would you be happy if you were my real dad? I would be very happy, Lily. Then why can't you be? Because being a real dad is very complicated. Because of Ireland? Yes. And because of other things too. Lily became thoughtful. Michael, can I ask you a very important question? You may. Are you my real dad? The direct question caught Michael completely off guard. He looked at Amanda, who had overheard the conversation, and approached them. Lily, why are you asking that? Said Amanda. Because you both act strange when I talk about Dad, and Michael reminds me of someone, but I don't know who, and he has the same eyes as me. Amanda sat down beside Lily. Sweetie, you're very smart. So is it true? Is Michael my dad? Amanda looked at Michael, who nodded positively. It's true, Lily. Michael is your father. Lily processed the information for a few seconds. Then why didn't you tell me before? Because Daddy left when you were a baby, and Mommy was afraid you would be sad if you knew. But why did he leave? Michael came closer and knelt down to Lily's level. Because I was very young and very foolish. I didn't know how to be a father. And now you do. Now I want to learn. Do you want to be my real dad? I really do, Lily. Then why don't you stay here with me? Michael looked at Amanda and then back at Lily. Because it's complicated, sweetie. Because of your work in Ireland? Yes. Lily stayed quiet for a few minutes, thinking. Daddy, can I ask you for something? The word Daddy moved Michael to tears. Of course, honey. Can you try to find a job here in Brazil? Lily, began Amanda. Please, Mom. Now that I've found my father, I don't want him to leave again. Michael was touched by Lily's request. Sweetheart, I'll see what I can do. Promise you'll try? I promise I'll try. That night after Lily fell asleep, Michael, Amanda, and Richard discussed the new situation. She caught you by surprise, said Richard. Completely, Amanda agreed, but I think it was better this way. Natural. And now, asked Michael, how do you proceed? Now you have to decide what you really want, said Amanda, to be a long-distance father or to change your life to be near your daughter. And you? How do you feel about it? Asked Michael. Honestly, I'm still processing it, but seeing how happy Lily was to find out you're her father, I think it's worth trying. Richard, what do you think? I think Lily deserves to have her father nearby, and you deserve the chance to be the father you weren't 10 years ago. Do you think it would be possible for me to get a job here in Brazil? With your international experience, I'm sure of it, said Richard. I can even help you with contacts. And about where I'd live? There are several options, said Amanda. You can rent an apartment nearby to be close to Lily but maintain our independence. Would that work for you? It would, as long as you understand that you'll have to earn your place in Lily's life gradually. I understand perfectly, and that you'll have real responsibilities. It's not just about playing and giving gifts. I want to take on those responsibilities. Richard watched his son. Michael, are you sure about this? It's not a decision you can go back on later. Dad, for the first time in my life, I'm absolutely sure about something. Then let's make it work, said Amanda. In the following months, Michael organized his life to move to Brazil. He managed to get a transfer at the company where he worked to the New York office, found an apartment 10 minutes from Amanda and Lily's place. Lily followed the whole process enthusiastically, helping Michael choose furniture online, giving opinions on the new apartment's decor. Daddy, you have to buy a big table so we can do homework together, she said, and a comfortable couch so we can watch movies, and an extra bed for when I want to sleep over. Michael fulfilled all of Lily's requests, happy to be able to actively participate in his daughter's life. When Michael finally moved to Brazil, Lily was radiant. Now I really have a real father, she told all her school friends. The adjustment wasn't without challenges. Michael had to learn how to be a father to a 10-year-old girl, with all the responsibilities that entailed. Amanda had to adapt to sharing decisions about Lily with her father, but everyone was committed to making it work, especially because of Lily's visible happiness. 6 months after Michael's move, on a Sunday afternoon, Lily was playing in the park with Richard, Amanda, and Michael. Jennifer, Ethan, and Olivia were also there at a family gathering. Lily stopped playing and came over to where the adults were talking. "Everyone, can I say something important?" "Of course, Princess," said Richard. "I want to thank you for giving me the coolest family in the world." "What do you mean, honey?" asked Amanda. "I have the best mom in the world, who fought hard to give me a good life. I have a father who came from far away to be close to me. I have a grandfather who's like a guardian angel. I have a grandmother who teaches me to cook, and I have 2 uncles who are like older brothers." Everyone was moved by Lily's words. "And you know what's the coolest part?" she continued. "What, sweetheart?" asked Michael. "It's just that our family isn't like others. We chose each other to be family, and that's much more special than just being born into a family." Richard Wilson got emotional remembering the first time he had explained the concept of chosen family to Lily. "You're right, Princess. Our family really is very special. And do you know why I'm sure our family is special?" "Why?" everyone asked at the same time. "Because everyone here could have given up on me, but no one did. Grandpa Richard could have walked away when he saw Mom at the dump. Mom could have stayed angry at Dad forever. Dad could have kept living far away. But everyone chose to stay and fight for our family." Amanda Johnson couldn't hold back her tears. "You're very special, Lily." "I know," said Lily with the simplicity of children. "But you all are too." Richard looked at that unlikely family that had formed from a past mistake and realized that the best things in life often come from the most unlikely moments. 5 years had passed since that afternoon in the park. Lily was now 15, an intelligent and confident teenager who carried within her the best of everyone who had raised her. Amanda had become head nurse at the hospital and also completed a specialization in intensive pediatrics. Michael was regional manager at the company where he worked and had become a present and loving father. Richard had learned to balance professional success with human values, transforming his company into a fairer place for all employees. The family remained united, gathering every Sunday to have lunch together, whether at Richard and Jennifer's house, at Amanda's apartment, or at Michael's apartment. Lily moved between the 3 homes naturally, having her own room in each one. She was a happy, self-assured teenager who knew she was unconditionally loved by everyone. At one of these Sunday gatherings, Lily made an important announcement. "Everyone, I've decided what I want to be when I grow up." "What, sweetie?" asked Amanda. "I want to be a social worker." "Why?" Michael wanted to know. "Because I want to help families going through hard times like you all helped me." Richard got emotional at the answer. "I think that's a wonderful choice, Princess." "It really is," Amanda agreed. "You're going to be an amazing social worker." "And you know what else?" Lily continued. "I want to work specifically with single mothers and children in vulnerable situations." "Like your mother was," said Michael, proud. "Exactly. I want to be for other families what Grandpa Richard was for us. The person who shows up at the right time to help change a life." Richard felt his eyes watering. "Lily, that's the most beautiful thing you could choose to do. It's what I feel in my heart. I want to give back to the world all the love I received from you." Jennifer hugged Lily affectionately. "I'm sure you'll help many families, my love." "And I'll teach them what I learned from you," said Lily. "That sometimes the best families are the ones we choose, not the ones we're born into." Ethan and Olivia, now 28 years old, also got emotional at their heart-sister's words. "Lily, you've always been our inspiration," said Olivia. "Seeing how you grew up strong and generous, even after all the difficulties, taught us so much about resilience." "And about forgiveness," Ethan added. "Seeing how our family rebuilt itself after past mistakes showed us that it's always possible to start over." Lily smiled at her older siblings. "You taught me a lot too. You taught me that real siblings are the ones who choose to love you, not just the ones born into the same family." At that moment, Richard stood up and asked for everyone's attention. "I'd like to make a toast," he said, raising his glass of juice. "Dad, you're going to get emotional again," Ethan laughed. Yes, I am, Richard admitted, because you all deserve for me to get emotional. Everyone raised their glasses. I want to toast to Lily, who taught us that love has no age limit to begin, to Amanda, who showed us that a mother's strength is the greatest strength in the world, to Michael, who proved that it's never too late to be the father you should have been from the start. Richard paused, emotional. And I want to toast to our crazy and unlikely family, which formed not by chance but by choice. That stays together not out of obligation but out of love. Cheers, everyone said in unison. And may we continue choosing each other every day, Richard added. Lily stood up and hugged Richard. Thank you, Grandpa, for being brave enough to admit your mistake and generous enough to try to fix it. Thank you, Princess, for giving me the chance to be a better person. Amanda also approached. Richard, you saved our lives, truly. You saved mine too. You taught me that real success isn't measured in money, but in lives we positively touch. Michael hugged his father. Dad, thank you for not giving up on me when you found out I had abandoned Lily. Thank you for having the courage to come back and take responsibility. Jennifer, Ethan, and Olivia joined the group hug, forming a circle of genuine affection. You know what else? Lily said in the middle of the hug. One day I'll tell our story to the families I'll help. I'll tell them that no matter how difficult the situation seems, there's always a chance to start over. And that sometimes, Amanda added, the right people appear at the right times. And that, Richard continued, recognizing our mistakes isn't weakness. It's the first step to becoming better people. And that, Michael finished, it's never too late to do the right thing. In that hug, on that Sunday afternoon, was symbolized the entire journey they had traveled together, from the landfill to the decent apartment, from rejection to unconditional love, from mistake to redemption, from the broken family to the rebuilt family. Lily, now a 15-year-old girl, carried within her all the lessons she had learned on this journey. She knew the value of perseverance because she saw her mother never give up. She knew the power of forgiveness because she saw her family rebuild itself. She knew that people can change because she saw her father and grandfather transform. And most importantly, she knew that true love is the one you choose every day, not the one that simply happens. When the hug broke up and everyone returned to their conversations, Richard stepped away a bit and watched his family. He thought about how it all began, with him making a selfish decision that destroyed a good person's life, and he thought about how it ended, with a family stronger and more united than many traditional families he knew. It hadn't been an easy journey. There were moments of pain, uncertainty, fear, but in the end it had been worth every tear, every difficulty, every moment of growth, because in the end they had built something that no money can buy, a family based on true love, genuine forgiveness, and conscious choice. Lily approached Richard, pulling him out of his thoughts. Grandpa, what are you thinking about? I'm thinking about how lucky I am to have you all in my life. We're lucky to have you too. Lily, can I tell you something? Of course. You were the most unexpected gift of my life. When I first saw you at that landfill, I thought I was there to help you, but actually you were the one who helped me. How so? You taught me to be a better person. You taught me that true wealth has nothing to do with money. Lily smiled. And you taught me that there's always a second chance. To all of us. It's true, to all of us. They stood there, grandfather and granddaughter, watching the family they had built together. A family that was living proof that the most beautiful endings sometimes come from the hardest beginnings, and that true love isn't the kind that comes easy, but the kind that's built with patience, dedication, and the right choices made every day. End of story. Now tell me what you thought of this story and where you're watching from. If you have something to share with us, leave it in the comments with sincere words. Do you believe Richard made the right decision in helping Amanda? We look forward to reading your opinion. Thank you so much for your company. Don't forget to leave your like and, most importantly, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss other moving stories.